1 in 3 children in South Africa fall victim to physical, sexual or emotional abuse before reaching the age of 18 years old. Damning findings released by the Social Development Department amid this year's Child Protection Week. Today marks 3 days in the week aimed at raising awareness and educate communities about the rights and responsibilities of children in the country. Police stats show every 3 days a child is raped or murdered in South Africa. Well, this year, the Social Development Department is reflecting on what the country has achieved in curbing violence against children. Well, joining me in studio to unpack further details on Child Protection Week is Nandi Mayathula-Khoza, the MEC for Social Development, joining us in studio. Very good morning to you, MEC, and thank you so much for joining us this morning right here on AIM and 7.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting us.
Well, it's the third day of the Child Protection Week, and with all these crazy stats, in the air with child abuse, why is child abuse, or rather Child Protection Week, so important?
Yes, thank you very much. Child Protection Week in South Africa, and I think throughout the world, is very, very important. First of all, we need to remind ourselves that the rights of children, the convention or the Charter of the Rights of Children was promulgated by the United Nations body as early as 1989. And South Africa, under the leadership of Mandela, also ratified that declaration for us as a country to really protect our children. And we all know that in the Constitution, the rights of children are actually protected. So we therefore believe that as a country, as a province, it's very important to mark the Child Protection Week so that we advocate for these children's rights that are entrenched in the Constitution, so that we actually mobilize families and communities really to protect their children. But also we want to ensure that the public is informed about the basket of services that we as government, working together with communities, are providing to our children.
And now, MEC, just talk to us as to regards to what the Gauteng province is actually doing to raise awareness on child abuse.
Yes, of course, every year we honor this Child Protection Week. And what we have been doing, even before the week, the Protection Week, the Child Protection Week itself, we have been engaging with our communities. We were into community outreach programs, visiting families, doing door-to-door, and talking about these children's rights, and really asking the families, because it's important for the child to be protected right inside the family. So we have been talking about that. We are also going to, because the minister has actually launched a Child Protection Week on the 28th in Cape Town, in Kwalanga. And during the course of the week, we will be having dialogues with the children themselves. We will be, talking to families. And we will also have an indaba, especially on undocumented children, because we have children in South Africa, in Gauteng, who arrive in our province. They are undocumented, they are stateless, nobody knows where they were born. So these are the issues that we will be dealing with. But we'll be going to Protea South and Protea North in Soweto, Mdeni as well, and again to dialogue about these issues, about the challenges that affect our children.
Just yesterday, President Jacob Zuma was in the Western Cape at Elsa's River community visiting the Courtney Peters family, or rather the Peters family, after they lost their child, where he was murdered by his uncle and raped by his uncle. He's actually slammed the way of the handling by the police of the entire case. Do you think that the social development and raising awareness on child protection is receiving enough support, from law enforcement agencies?
We can say that we need more support, more effective support. We do get support, but we feel we could get much more improved and effective support from the law enforcers. It's important for them to take these matters seriously. In the first instance, our children must not be abused. Our children must not suffer from neglect and exploitation. Our children must not be murdered. But when it happens, our law enforcers need to take it very, very seriously. When it is reported, investigations must happen swiftly and smoothly and urgently, so that we get to find out who are these perpetrators of violence against children.
And in most instances, abuse actually occurs, is usually done by someone whom is very close to the child, maybe an uncle or father, or friends at school. How difficult is it for the social development to actually, perpetrate, or rather, provide assistance in those instances where it's a family member who's abusing a child?
It's really a pity that indeed child abuse happens in the family. you know, uncles. Yes, they are good uncles, but there are those bad uncles, you know, cousins, etc. So it becomes very, very difficult because sometimes when social development, social workers report the case to the police, the family will turn around and say, look, this is a family matter. Let's withdraw the charges. And it becomes very, very difficult, you know, for us as social development to really deal with the situation. So that's why we're saying to families, please allow the law to take its course. Because if you protect the perpetrator, the abuser, it may happen again, and next time the child will actually die. So that's why it's important for families to really cooperate with social workers to really help them, you know, against child abuse in the families.
Now, you've also made mention that, you know, social development is going to hold dialogues and conversations, you know, with young kids on abuse and to teach them and equip them about this problem. Just talk us through the importance of having these conversations, not only during Child Protection Week, but become a daily thing where it's conversed with young kids, you know, to assist them in protecting themselves.
Yes. No, absolutely. Child protection is only for 1 week, but we are saying children must be protected 365 days of the year, you know, because children have constitutional rights. And therefore, in the work that we do, working together with non-profit organizations, community-based organizations, the faith-based organizations, but we also work with the Justice Department, we work with the Home Affairs Department, we work with the Lawyers for Human Rights who actually report quite a number of cases of child abuse, neglect and exploitation. So throughout the year, apart from really talking about protection of children, we also offer early childhood development education because we believe that when the child is at school during the course of the day, at least that child is able to be protected, to be safe, also to get nutritious food, but also to get development, cognitive development, physical development through the educational programs that are actually provided. But throughout the year, we also assist our children. You know, there will be children who find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah.
So these children from the courts are given to us, the social development, and we're able to take care of them in our child and youth care centers, so that these children realize also that, you know, they've been wrong, and to self-correct, but also for us to correct them as well. But we also take care of children with disabilities throughout the year as well. We take care of children who have HIV and AIDS, children who've been left by parents who are orphans because parents have died because of various illnesses. So we take care of those children. We work with the Department of Human Settlements so that those children can have shelter when their parents have actually died. So these are some of the programs that we carry out throughout the year. But most importantly, let's protect our children.
Indeed.
Let our children go to school, feel safe in all the spaces where they are, so that they grow to make a contribution in this country.
Indeed, it is important to actually protect, you know, the children of South Africa. Well, let me say thank you so much for your time and your presence, for joining us right here at 8 and 7. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was MEC for Social Development, Ms. Nandi Mayathula-Khoza, unpacking more details on Child Protection Week.